We're going to talk to Amy about communication and some things with regard to partnerships. So if you have a partnership, and this could be you and a buddy, or this could be you and a spouse, you're going to want to watch this episode because we're going to talk about means of communication, communication models, and a whole host of other things because we can all get better at communicating. Amy, thank you for coming on the show. Give everybody a quick intro. Who are you? What's the name of your gym and how long have you been open?
My name is Amy Kestenbaum, and the name of my gym is Upper Cape CrossFit, and we have been open since March of 2013, but I've only owned the box since 2015, so it'll be 10 years actually on June 1st for me.
Like 2 days from now as of this shooting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, happy 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay, so what are we trying to solve for you today? What is a pain point or something that you are trying to wrap your arms around?
Well, I think, something that's like going on for me right now is like my relationship with my business partner.
Okay.
And how it's changed a lot over time.
Okay. Say more.
And this is where I actually was saying this part of it might be me that's the problem in the situation, is I feel like we've grown apart a bit. We're still really close, like friend-wise, but how we function as business owners or owners has changed a lot.
Okay. Have you been partners the entire time of the ownership?
Not the entire time, but a good.
So you've owned it for 10. How long have you had a partner?
I had a different, but he bought one of the my business partner out. So maybe I think he's been in it for about 7 years now.
All right. So let's just talk about you. He's not here, so let's talk about you. What is your general feeling about, how are you feeling? So absent of him, what is your general feeling with regard to the partnership? Do you feel there's disconnect there? Is it a communication issue? Is it an effort issue? What do you think it is?
Well, actually, you hit the nail on the head, because that's what I actually wrote during some of these talks is communication.
Okay.
Or lack thereof.
Got it. So give me an example of where there would be a breakdown in communication.
We don't actually talk that much.
Okay. So last question, and then I think there's a couple different frameworks that I think here that would be helpful. What are your roles?
Yeah, we do have very different roles.
Okay.
I pretty much I coach most of the classes. I do the programming. I do the scheduling.
Okay.
I run the day-to-day business, and he actually that's my job.
Yeah.
He has a job, so he does work outside of the box, and he coaches maybe 2 classes a week, and he's supposed to be doing maintenance-related stuff.
Got it.
He does some.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I just feel like over time, the roles have become very unbalanced.
Okay, so I think this is just an interesting graph framework. So when you're looking at, I've got energy, and we're talking about your expended energy inside of the affiliate as well as his, right? So, and then we'll put time on this axis. What this kind of sounds like is you're the operator, so let's assume that you have high energy output, and then over time we would want that to have some sort of downward slope here, right? I don't know if it would be that sharp, but this is you. And then probably give me some general direction on what you think his energy over time would look like. Is it up? Is it down? Is it flat?
I would say it's down.
Okay. Did it start high and it came down? Okay, so we're so we could just start here. The precision here doesn't really matter, but if we just look at this and let's just say that that's your partner, how do I determine when in this time frame that I need to essentially reconnect and then realign and say, hey, listen, I think we need to sit down and we need to revisit what you're doing, what I'm doing, because it feels either unfair or unequal, whatever we determined equal was. And you would kind of work through this process, but essentially right here is we're hey, at the point that mine's coming down and yours is coming down and where we think that they intersect roughly with regard to our energy expenditure over time, be let's revisit and let's come up with new parameters for how we operate together. And it sounds like you're there now.
I am. I just figure, I think that's why I laugh, because I say I'm part of the problem because I'm not communicating any of this. Because I think part of it is because I like him so much. I almost don't know how to communicate it.
Okay.
Without, like, I worry
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt his feelings or I'm
Yep.
going to present it the wrong way.
Yep.
Because I don't want to, like, I do feel that he contributes. For sure. It's just,
Are there different areas where you would want more input or anything like that?
well, that's what I think sometimes part of the problem is I like controlling the situation.
Okay, then you're gonna like the next framework even better. Okay. All right.
I think sometimes I don't, like, I almost feel like I've made the problem worse because I like to be in charge and I like running the show.
being in charge is totally fine. In this particular scenario, guys, one of the things that we're constantly harping on people is being clear about roles inside of whatever the team dynamic is, whether it's partner to partner or whether it's, superior to, the team or anything else like that. We really want to get rid of as much ambiguity as humanly possible. And something like a decision rights matrix is a really interesting way to delineate what my interaction with needs to be with regard to another party. Again, whether that's me and my head coach, whether it's me and my GM, whether it's me and my partner, me or my spouse, or whatever. But predetermining what that should look like is really, really important and clears up a lot of confusion. Yeah. So I think where we can help is the disconnect is like, hey, with regard to tasks, responsibilities, decisions, right? So this is called basically a decision rights matrix. Meaning who's in charge of what, and then what's my responsibility to said partner. So I've got whatever the decision is. I've got who the owner is. And then I've got partner. Then it's informed or consulted. Okay, so when we're looking at this, I've got any number of decisions that I got to make here. And give me an example of a decision that you need to make that you feel like there's a disconnect. It could be big, it could be small, it doesn't matter.
Decision, well, like something I think, like our roles, as I am like the person that operates the business for the most part. His role was supposed to be more maintenance related and like sort of behind the scenes.
Okay, so let's use both of those, right? So we could use something like budget allocation, right? So we can use maintenance there. So with regard to this, the maintenance component, right? We use budget. We can use maintenance. We can use payroll. I'm just putting random stuff on here. We could put programming, scheduling, whatever. We would continue to make the list as long as we needed to. And then we would go down and we would say, hey, who owns that thing?
Okay.
Right? So if we just use these four, who owns budget if you guys have one, or who owns kind of like the financial component of that? You do? Okay. So then that would be you. He owns maintenance. Payroll, who does that?
Me.
You, okay. And then who does programming? You. Does he have any other role inside of that? Is it just maintenance? Just a handyman? Okay, cool. So it doesn't matter, right? We would come up with all these other things. And then what we would do is we would outline, does the partner need to be informed or consulted? So we take this list and we just flip it on the other direction. So now, partner, we'll just put a P over here to speed this up. And then this is you. This is you, this is partner, and this is partner. So what we do is, based on whatever the decision is that needs to be made, we highlight, does the partner need to be informed or consulted? Do I just need to tell them that I did something? Or do I need to go to them and say, hey, I need your input on something, we have to make a decision on this, and both of us need to make that. So from a budget standpoint, it's probably consulted.
Yeah.
Right. So I'd be like, I need to consult with my partner and get buy-in on this decision. When it comes to maintenance, well, like he probably just needs to inform you that he fixed something. Be like, hey, I fixed the toilet or whatever that's going to be. If it's payroll, It depends on, hey, I'm either running payroll or I'm going to hire somebody else. That could be one or two different buckets potentially. But if you're like, hey, did payroll go out on time? Sure. Okay. Partner's informed, right? Or if it's programming, you're like, I'm changing the programming. No consult necessary, but like, but now what I've got is a clearly defined matrix, and you can put as many things on this list as you want to.
Yeah.
And now what it does is it very clearly outlines like, what things do I just need to keep you up to date on versus sit down and talk to you about so that we can come to some agreement about the decision that we're going to make. And this cleans up all of the kind of ambiguity for you about what do I communicate, when do I communicate, like what do we need to have a conversation on, or what can be quite literally an email, you know? So if it's informed, that could be a Slack message. If it's consulted, I'm like, hey, we need a 5-minute meeting about X.
Yeah.
Right. And this cleans it up for me because now I know exactly what I need to go for them. And it also cleans up your communication. Now we're not having meetings about things that I just needed to inform them. Right. Because so now we can move faster, and we're only sitting down to talk about the things that are most important, where both of us need to consult the other one on making a decision.
Well, and I feel like all this stuff works. I think part of it for this part is it's not all, I think the bare minimum is getting done.
Okay. So then that's just an expectation management piece on that one. And do you guys sit down, do you guys have regular meeting cadence?
We don't. I mean, we used to talk all the time about everything, which is sort of slowly trickled.
Okay.
up.
So there's a different model, or it's like a communication model. And this model actually works for partners. It works for anybody. It doesn't have to necessarily be, usually we'll use it in the context of giving feedback to coaches, but we just call this the deep care model. A lot of us as affiliate owners, we care a lot about our staff, meaning we feel that we care a lot about our staff, but really, if we look at our actions, do our actions match our words or our emotions? And a lot of things that we want to look at is, if I do have really high standards and I care a lot, then that should be manifested in the amount and quantity and frequency of hard conversations. Like, how often am I giving feedback? How often are we having sit downs about what people want and what's going well and what's not going well? These are things that we have to have conversations about. The longer we push those things off, the harder everything else gets. So we really want to make sure that we have a really good combination of both high standards with that care. The magic here is in the delivery, right? Like, do it with empathy. That's an art. You're going to need to get a lot of reps underneath your belt to do that well. And it's
I like the name of it.
yeah. It's a very simple idea, which is I've got standards over here for whatever the task is, and then I've got care down here. And usually what happens is we have some line that looks like this. This would be considered tough love up here. Tough love. And this would be considered unconditional love down here, meaning they get away with anything. And all of us have some either staff member or a person or a child or something like that falls maybe here. We're like, I tough love, they don't get away with anything. I'm like, it doesn't matter how they necessarily feel about it, but I'm going to give them the feedback no matter what. I'm going to give them, and I'm going to tell them. And then I have other people, I'm like, well, that's just the way Jimmy operates, like we're not really going to give him a hard time about it because that's just the way he works.
That's how I am with a lot of things.
Correct. So
With like everything.
It's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just recognizing it. And it's just like, hey, so in this scenario, like, how do I visually plot out like what's going to be most beneficial for myself and my teammate or my partner or my employees or whatever? And then where does true care live? And true care lives way over here. So this is what we need to look at. We say, hey, true care is where very high standards meet with very extreme amounts of care in the person. And then how do I start to map this out? Well, that's just saying, what does true care mean? It means having hard conversations, but doing it with empathy.
Yeah.
Say, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about the maintenance. It's not getting done, and I want to figure out how to resolve it. I'm not blaming you for it. I will blame myself for not actually bringing this up sooner, and I've let this go on too long, and I've started to build up some resentment, and I recognize that resentment is purely my fault. So how do we fix that? And then what do you think is a good resolution to that? But I've told them that this is the problem. right out of the gate, maintenance is not getting done. And then I've backfilled it with, here's why I neglected to bring it up sooner, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I realized that's not helping either one of us. And this has now led to me being resentful. I don't want to do that. So what you've done in this scenario is Chris Voss calls this labeling, right? So if you've have you ever read any of his books, like Never Split the Difference or anything like that? So when you're having, because effectively what you're doing in this scenario, if I'm going to have this hard conversation, is I'm having a negotiation in order to get the maintenance done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what's called label, is I'm going to put all of the feelings front and center on the table and say, hey, this is not getting done. This is why I neglected to bring it up, and this is how I feel about it now. And and my fear is X. That if we don't get this resolved, the partnership and our relationship will be hindered because of that. So I've taken everything that is like existing and I put it right on the table so that we can both look at it right out of the gate, to set the entire stage for the conversation, and we get all of that out of the way right out of the gate, and now we can just talk about resolution.
Yeah.
So when you have that conversation, just label it and be like, hey, I feel really bad about not bringing this up, and I don't want, my fear is that if we don't have this conversation, our friendship / partnership will suffer because of it, and that's absolutely not what I want. So now I've stated my fear, and I've stated what my desired outcome is, which is to improve the partnership. So how do we get to the point where you're doing the necessary maintenance for the box that gets us to where we want to go inside of the gym? How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay. When do you want to have a conversation?
When do I want to have it? I actually want to have it sooner than later.
I think you should have it sooner than later. Yeah. Yeah. We have a running joke. Everything happens on Tuesday. So what I would do is I would set the meeting, and I would, give them a little bit of insight. I'd be like, hey, I want to clear some things up that I've not been clear about on my end, and I feel like I've not been a great partner to you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that way. I feel like I feel like I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all part of the problem, right?
Yeah,
If you're 50%
but
of the
I feel
partnership.
I contribute to it because I'm not communicating like how I feel.
Yeah, and then hopefully some of these models will help you just get clear on them visually, to be like, oh, okay, if I stop living here and just move over here, then I'll get the desired outcome. And then all of this is centered around, hey, we want to run a better box for our affiliate, right? We want the members to have like functioning equipment and to come in and think that the space is nice and all these things. Like, that's what we want. That's what we agreed upon. And I want to help you do that. And part of me helping you do that is just bringing up the things that we need to happen.
You know what's funny is I feel like this situation contributes to like how, like, I feel like we run a really good box, but I feel like more recently we've gotten a little too laid back about certain things. And I almost feel like this situation has contributed to that, like, that how we've been behaving, like, been really laid back with some of the stuff that coaches are doing that I'm not like super thrilled with, but I don't think they're like terrible things, and I'm not communicating with them about it. And I almost feel like it's because I'm not communicating with him also.
What's your meeting cadence with your partner?
Like having a meeting? We don't actually have like meetings.
I would start there.
Okay.
Don't make them long.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to meet once a
We
week.
used to, but we just kind of...
And then we stopped. And then we're like, I don't know why things aren't working. It was because we stopped communicating. So, like, I'm not here to give marriage advice, but it's similar to, like, marriage, which is, hey, well, if we stop talking about the things that are important to both of us, it's not weird if those things start to slip off.
Yeah, we definitely are kind of like a married couple.
For sure, yeah. I always joke. I have a gym wife and then I have my wife.
People
wife.
actually thought that he was the...
100%.
Because I said,
I
oh,
totally get it.
my partner, and then...
I've had the same
You're like,
thing.
isn't he your boyfriend? I'm like, no.
So, we should treat it the same way, which is like, hey, we're going to be intentional about the interactions that we have, because typically the way those partnerships start off is like, hey, we meet because we're having a good time and everything is where we want it, and we're just whatever, and then but it's not intentional. So we don't meet, and then we stop meet, or we were meeting, but there was no agenda. And then because there's no agenda, the meeting kind of falls off because they're like, what are we talking about?
Our meetings are like a quick, like, hey, come in the office. Let's talk. I gotta talk to you about this.
Great.
Like, that's our meeting.
So I would come up with the 3 to 5 things that you two should at least look at or discuss in every meeting. And it doesn't mean you have a long discussion about it.
Yeah.
It means like, hey, I look at the budget and I inform him and be like, hey, budget's up to date. We're good to go. Right? Payroll is all scheduled. it'll run today. This is what it was.
Yeah.
And then he's got to be like, hey, these are the things that I have for maintenance this week. Do we have that in the budget? Now we're consulting with each other, and you're like, okay, do that one now, push the other one to next month because this is what the budget looks like. But if we fail to set the parameters for why we're having the meeting, then we just talk about nothing, or we talk about random things that are on our mind, or we end up dealing with the things that are emergent versus the things that are important. Right? So you set the parameters for those 3 to 5, and most meetings could be less than 15 minutes if everybody shows up prepared.
Yeah.
Instead of be like, hey, listen, if we want to chat longer, that's great. But like, let's get in and out of here. Like, I'll show up prepared, you show up prepared. If I have any questions, I'll ask you. If you have any questions, you ask me, and then we move on. And then we save all the social and casual stuff for later.
Yeah.
But like, I try to have meetings really short. I'm like, everybody show up with your deliverables, and let's get out of here. We got better stuff to do. Like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
So I would go back to those, and I would figure out what you want the cadence to be. So I would start with him, and then once you guys get back into a cadence, then I would go back to the team and be like, hey, I want to do a monthly meeting. Or if you have some coaches that are full-time, maybe like we need to do a weekly meeting. But same thing, what's the agenda? What are the deliverables? Everybody's got it, cool. Everybody shows their work, we verify it. I have questions about that seems inaccurate. Okay, anybody blocked on anything? Is there anything that everybody else needs to be aware of? No, yes, and then we get out of there. So you keep them nice and short. And then what we recommend is, like, when it comes to that, like living up here, I think this is most effectively done when it's done in quick, casual conversations. We call it drive-by feedback. Just very quick, like, hey, real quick, this t-shirt on the design, I thought it was a little weird, like the colors were off and the logo was a little whatever. Let's make sure that we fix that next time. Moving on with the day. That's it. You know, how can I help? And you just have 100 of those conversations a day, you know? But once you start doing that, a lot of the kind of like formal
I feel like we used to do that. That's what, yeah.
Yeah. When we all go through this, like, when do we just stop doing the thing? You know, look, oh, we don't need to, we've been open a long time. And I'm like, oh, you probably need to do it more.
Yeah.
Because you've been open for a long time.
Well, and I think you get caught in your roles too. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm there all the time. This is what I do,
Yeah.
and this is my focus all
Yeah.
the time. He's not there all the time. He has another job.
Yeah.
He has other things that he does. So it's easy for me to be in there and be like, oh, why
Yeah.
isn't he helping me with
Right.
this? Like,
And that can be resolved with, and the meetings only have to be in person.
yeah.
That could be a 5-minute phone call. Super easy. Keep the meetings efficient, and that nobody will have an issue with them. Like, I'm on a life mission to make all meetings 7 minutes or less. Right, 7-minute meeting, and then we get out of here. That just means that we all have to show up prepared.
Yeah.
I'm like, you go. What do you got? I've got this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, great. All that checks out. What do you have? This? Okay, great. Here's what I've got. Any questions? No? All right, everybody go do your job. Let's get out of here. So, kind of what I was talking about earlier, I'm like, we can all always get better at communication.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So first it's like just wrapping your arms around, like, what is the communication that I need to have so that I have a framework for what do I want to talk about? And then it's planning it out. Like, be intentional, put it on the calendar. We talk about this here on this day. You're good. So I think all of that will be very quickly resolved when you do that. You'll be
Yeah.
good. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. If you guys have other questions, or you guys are interested in more ways to kind of like run a better box, communicate with your team, we have more episodes like this. You can watch other episodes in the link right here.
CrossFitters, I've purchased hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in my life. I've been doing CrossFit since 2007. I've owned 4 affiliates. I currently own an affiliate in my basement. And let me tell you this, Rep Fitness is by far my favorite equipment. First of all, it's amazing quality. The price is right. And what I love is I talk to somebody that I know, that knows me, and that understands my needs. Now, cool thing is, as a family member of Best Hour, you can save big over at Rep Fitness. Go to repfitness.com/best hour and save on your next equipment purchase.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.